Ah. And then very gently allow your eyes to close and take a moment just to send your awareness outside the room you're sitting in. See what sounds you can hear far, far off in the distance. Anything way far off. And then bringing that awareness right into the room you're sitting in. All the sounds you can hear right around you. And then bringing that awareness a little bit further in, right into yourself, all the sounds you can hear within your own body. So that as you breathe in, can you hear yourself breathe? Can you follow your breath, that awareness of your breath as it goes down into your lungs, filling your lungs? Feel that expansion. And when you exhale, feeling the contraction, everything contracts. Again, let's breathe in through your nose. Everything fill and exhale. Everything contract. Next breath you take in, can you visualize the sun right overhead so that as you breathe in, that warmth of the sun, that lovely glow can mingle with your breath. So you can now visualize your breath as it expands through your lungs, how your whole rib cage expands. And when you exhale, let that gorgeous light become a diamond right at your heart center. Next breath in, as you breathe, let that light expand out through your whole body. Every cell in your body emanates, vibrating with your glow, your light. Exhaling, bringing that light back to a point at your heart center. If you'd like to take your word of the month, the year, right there at your heart center, let that mingle with this beautiful light so that as you breathe in and that light expands out, it's expanding your beautiful light and your intentions. And let that light expand through every cell in your body and maybe out through your whole room. Exhaling, bringing that all back in. So that next breath in, dreaming big, let that light go out through your whole community. It's your light, your love. Feel all of our light reaching out towards one another, creating this beautiful community. Exhale, bringing that all back into your heart center, your intentions, your goals, your love, your community. Let it sit right there at your heart center. Take a moment to reflect on what you're looking for, your peace, your joy. And on your next exhale, let your chin come to your chest. Let your eyes flutter open, taking in your room, and have a super wonderful day.
Thank you, Elizabeth, so much. Thank you.
That was great.
Two things before we have Tanya introduce Aaron. Kyle Richards, unmute yourself. Kyle got on at 3 a.m. So she won the award for getting the front row. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle's
Good morning.
Washington, D.C. I got to meet Kyle last year through Breakfast Club with 6 a.m.ers. I don't think we've ever met face to face, so I'm looking forward to that.
We did in San Diego. We did the breakfast. Okay. Kind of busy, but it was great.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. So sure. We would love to see if you have a word of the month or an intention of the month, put that in the chat. Put that in the chat real quick. My word this month is systems, and just kind of getting more things systematized. What's your word, Tanya?
Mine is consistency. Working on being consistent in everything I'm doing.
You want to introduce Aaron? Good one.
Aaron, you have a word of the month?
I think my word is also consistency. Yeah.
On that, I would love to introduce Aaron Lacey to you all. John and I have had the pleasure to work with Aaron over the last about almost a year now, off and on. And Aaron is a nationally recognized coach. He has been working for the last 10 years, helping thousands of those in real estate, lenders as well. And Aaron, would you just share a little bit about your background? Tell us, where you came from, what your background is, and how you got to be where you are now, what you're doing now.
Absolutely. I think I'm in and thank you everybody, by the way, thank you for having me. I wake up at 5 every morning, 4:45, 5, and I usually I do some reading, I do some journaling, and I actually forgot about this podcast, or I forgot about this session today, this morning at about 6, and about 5, and about 5:15, a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, honey, I can't help get the kids ready for school this morning. I gotta talk to some awesome people because I got some really neat stuff to share. Uh, you know, my story is interesting. I used to have a podcast, so I used to interview people all the time. I did over 60 interviews on my podcast, but in short, I was raised by a real estate agent. My mom was a single mom with 4 boys, and I saw the struggles she went through. And she actually ended up becoming an elementary school teacher, which caused me, and so I saw her fail out of the business, and that was hard for me. That was a huge challenge for me. And then, but what was neat about what ended up kind of being the blessing out of the negativity there was that I ended up going and accompanying her to her classroom every single morning and getting to play on a computer in her classroom before school every day and learning about computers. And with I think she had an old Commodore and an Apple IIe, and this was mid 80s. And so I'm in that interesting divide between I was born in the 70s, but I speak kind of the native language of Gen Xers. And so I understand belly to belly and real relationships, but also how to utilize technology to have meaningful communications. And so that's really kind of my upbringing, is a, obsessed with technology, absolute obsession, that went into college, had me programming. I would sit and write code sometimes for 18, 24 hours straight, just crunching code. And it was, my friends would be going off. I went to University of Arizona in Tucson, and I'd see my friends. They'd go, Aaron, we're going out tonight. We're going to Fourth Ave. We're going to the bars. I go, and I got to finish creating this database driven website, and you guys have fun.
That was your fun Friday night.
That was my fun Friday night. So I've always been a little off. But I knew that staring at a screen wasn't my future, even though I'm back staring at a screen, but at least I'm getting to talk to people now. So that's a little of my background.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you're doing when you're talking to people now.
So, I got, graduated from University of Arizona. I went right into the tech field. I actually started a company, and it was a web development company. And at 22, I had 8 employees, and I was doing some fun stuff with websites and database driven websites. And I think a couple of my websites were over $100,000. So it was a, big deal. And I was like, this is pretty neat. There's a lot of money to be made in this. And that was right around 2001, when, I don't know if anybody remembers the dot-com bust, right? And so, the whole industry, all the funding in the industry just went away. And my dad, I grew up in Prescott, Arizona, so I'm right now in Phoenix. And my dad was, he was doing some interesting things in the real estate space, not as a licensed realtor, but he was identifying ranch land in northern Arizona, and he was working with ranchers to say, hey, I think we could turn this into a pretty cool community So he was kind of developing out ranch land. And he said, "Hey, Aaron, I know you're doing your tech thing and, but hey, would you mind coming back, getting licensed and helping me?" And I said, "Sure." So long story short, I moved back home, got licensed, started selling real estate and working with my dad a little over 20, right around 20 years ago. And I represented probably 60 families, helping them buy, sell homes, just to kind of get my feet in the door, get my feet wet with real estate. And I realized quickly that that job is really, really hard. And now I know why my mom failed out of the business. It's very glamorized, right? And so what I did was, so I thought, you know what? I like real estate and I did really well. But I'd love to get into commercial real estate where there's less emotion at play and it's more, does this pencil? So I got into commercial real estate. I got my broker's license, and that was shortly after the real estate bubble bust in 06, 07, 08. And so my timing was really interesting throughout my career. Uh, I ended up starting a real estate brokerage, actually a residential real estate brokerage with a few other people, and right during the downturn. And it was actually a great time to start a real estate company because real estate agents, and I don't know if anyone was licensed in 07, 08, there was a lot of turmoil. Nobody was making money. People were willing to make a move. And so it was easy to have a conversation, say, "Hey, we've got something neat over here. You should check it out." And, with my technology background, I put together some really neat lead generation systems, and I was working on the branding side, and I was doing some neat things online, and it was really attractive to a lot of agents. It was really beneficial to them and their growth. And so we ended up building a real estate brokerage of about 250 agents, with 3 offices over a short amount of time. Grew very quickly. And uh, and you know what, it was an interesting time, but for me, when I was talking to agents and bringing them on board, they wanted to continue working with me, but I'd have to tell them I have to go back out. I'm tasked with growing this brokerage with recruiting, right? And so at one point I was the designated broker, I was a managing broker, I was reviewing contracts, I was talking to agents, trying to identify what their needs were to see if we were a good fit. And I ended up really enjoying the training, the coaching, the consultative side of the business, because I had experienced a lot. I had seen a lot. I'd seen my mom. I knew technology well. I had experienced my own transactions, my own challenges, my own lack of organization, my own pitfalls, my own mindset challenges, where I'd close a transaction with somebody and I saw all the mistakes I made in that transaction. And so I wouldn't stay in touch with my past clients because I thought I screwed up. And little did I know that was just all in my head. I was that pianist on stage that was making mistakes, but the audience thought that the performance was magnificent. And so, I was hard on myself and I didn't have the right systems in place. And I just thought, you know what? Maybe my purpose is to help agents put the right systems in their business to identify their blind spots, because I knew how many hats my mom was having to wear when she was raising kids and having to go show properties and do all these different things. And you know what? Maybe I can help a few people in this industry overcome some of the challenges that exist with the multiple different roles that we have to take on every day. And so that's where I really started focusing on what can I do to help a real estate agent with what they're challenged with what's keeping them up at night, right? With what's on their mind. What do they feel like they're not doing? Can I release them of that too? Right? Because a lot of us think, gosh, I should be doing a lot more on social media. That's usually the biggest challenge that I see, or one of the biggest concerns is, Aaron, I need to be doing more on social media. And I say, you know what?
What is the one unconventional marketing strategy that you believe realtors? Oh fuck! I owe you a
You owe
buck.
me a bottle of wine.
For what? The F-bomb?
No,
Oh,
no, no.
oh, you haven't shared with Lacey,
Yeah,
with Aaron, or you haven't shared?
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Oh, Aaron. Yeah. So every
What?
time John says the word realtor, which I
Uh-oh.
think everybody on the call here can agree is not the word for our profession. We are realtors. He owes me a bottle of wine.
He has to write it down 25 times. Realtor.
What am I up to for you, Tanya?
Sorry for that interruption.
Yeah,
Aaron.
okay.
It does make me cringe a little bit, John, when I hear
Thank
realtor.
you. Okay.
Thank you. I don't know. What is that?
Especially
8
when we
bottles
say
now?
it.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Right? Okay. Sorry, because that was a good question, John. But
what is the one unconventional marketing strategy that you believe that we should adopt that most agents aren't adopting? What is the one thing that you think is the thing that we need to focus on that they're not?
Hey, John, you didn't send me that question over in advance. You know I can't just pull that right out of my butt. What's the one unconventional marketing strategy? You guys, here's what I would say. As most real estate agents are trying to leverage technology, trying to automate themselves, replace themselves right out of the business with marketing campaigns and AI, I think the one unconventional thing we can do is do what we used to do once upon a time. And that's see how many phone conversations, how many face-to-face conversations we can have, meaningful ones every single day. I think that's unconventional these days. And I think those types of activities and behaviors show others that you're not just trying to hide behind a screen. You're not trying to hide behind social media, that you are who you say you are, and you're somebody that's worth telling others about. And I would take that a step further, and I would say, step two, let me share one other thing, you guys. We can all think of that hotel chain that has the warm chocolate chip cookies in the lobby, right? We've all probably been there. You've heard of it before. What's that warm chocolate chip cookie, that sense of comfort, that sense of differentiation that we are offering our clients, right? Is there a warm chocolate chip cookie in our business, right, that we're offering out, that's something that people can just come back to, that they enjoy, that's memorable, that's unique?
so face to face, voice to voice, getting in front of your people.
And that's coming from a tech guy, right? A tech guy who just developed an AI system, who used to crunch code. But absolutely, that's what's missing. When I look at, I mentioned before, I'm one of 4 boys, and I've got 3 brothers, and they're all highly successful, much more well educated than I am, and uh, and they we have a conversation about real estate and real estate agents all the time, and their perspective is that real estate agents are overpaid and aren't worth the services and the value they provide. And I just say, you've been working with the wrong real estate agents. And unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of people. They've been working with the wrong real estate agents, because here's why: it's hard to figure out who the right ones are. And because we're swimming. I don't know if anyone's ever read the book Blue Ocean Strategy. It's an incredible book, Blue Ocean Strategy, one of my favorite books. But it really talks about, it really talks about real estate, and how real estate agents, how we're swimming together as if we're a school of fish, afraid to deviate from the school, right? Afraid to move away, afraid to get outside of what everyone is doing. And therefore, we're seen as the same as everybody else. We're seen as offering the same things as everybody else. And what happens is we get associated with poor real estate agents that offer poor service, poor communication, because we're swimming in that school. And what I'd recommend, what I talk to a lot of the agents that I work with about, is figuring out how we can get outside of that school. And some of that is really just in our mindset. It's overcoming the resistance that we have and doing things a little bit different, and knowing that even if we do that, our business isn't going to blow up. And in fact, it could be the best thing we could do in our business.
What would you say would be the best way for people to start over? Because you said it a couple times, that mindset. You had a certain mindset, you saw a mindset in your mom, and you see it in everybody that you work with. What is what kind of tips do you have to share about how we can change that mind? Because I definitely feel like I'll see somebody do something, I'm like, oh, that's really cool, but I can't do that. Like that worked for them, but yeah, I don't think I can do that. So what would you recommend a way for people to kind of overcome that?
So let me just tell you a quick story. I've got two kids, a 6 and a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old daughter, 7-year-old son. And my 7-year-old son went 2 years ago when he was 5, kindergarten, right? He comes in the front door after school, and my wife and I are so fortunate to be able to work from home. He comes in, and he says something to me. I say something back, and then he says, "Daddy, you have a fixed mindset." And I just said, "What'd you say to me, Lucas?"
Wow.
I was almost offended. But I was really impressed too. I was thinking, did he just say I have a fixed mindset? And I had to think about that twice. And I just thought to myself, gosh, I'd rather he said the other F word than say that I had a fixed mindset. I think there's really, we get a lot of choices throughout the day, throughout our lives. And there's two things we can control. We can control our minds or our mindset, and we can control our behavior, our actions, our activities. And I think everything really starts from mindset, right? Our behaviors are a result of where our thoughts are, where our focus is. There's two different mindsets. There's a mindset that's built upon gratitude. It's built upon abundance, and that's a growth-based mindset. And then there's another mindset, and that's a fixed mindset, which is what apparently I had that day. And that's a mindset that's based on scarcity, right? That's based on fear, that's based on anxiety. And don't get me wrong, I'm fearful at times. I'm anxious at times. I've had somebody say that, Aaron, you're one of the most anxious people I've ever met. And I go, what? I thought I was easygoing. I check in throughout the day to figure out, am I operating from a place of abundance, a place of gratitude? And you guys, and I would just say this, gratitude really is the key word with regards to mindset. If we can just think about things that we're grateful for, think about things that are need in our lives, our family members, the fact that we're here right now, we're able to be here right now, we're able to be here together right now. We have lights that turn on, we've got a toilet that flushes. I know it sounds ridiculous, but honestly, I heard some people talking about Italy at the start of this, and I was fortunate enough to go to Italy last month for the first time, and had really wanted to go there for the longest time. And of course, I knew I was going to love it, and of course, I did. It was incredible. It was amazing, But Italy has its own challenges, and it's an ancient place. It's an incredible, incredible ancient place. But graffiti everywhere, and a lot of the streets are, and some of the cities are dirty, and right. And so I go, we have options. We can see things, we can see the ugly, or we can see the beautiful. But also, we have some really cool stuff going on where we're at. You know what I mean? This is an unbelievable country. We have an incredible opportunity here. This industry is unbelievable. We have unlimited potential. Because I'm talking with agents that are making the same amount of money as CEOs and professional athletes. It's mind-boggling to me, and I'm just amazed at what opportunities we have available to us, and what we have, not what we're striving for, but what we have. And so I would say tap in to the gratefulness that you have, and write that word down somewhere. Gratitude, gratefulness. What am I grateful for? And every day, you guys, think think of one thing or two things or three things you're grateful for, and I can tell you it can change your life.
Thank you. Aaron, got a question.
Please.
What's the craziest thing that you've ever had to do for a dare?
I knew you weren't going to ask me any of the questions you sent over. But that's fine. Okay, I got a good one. My uncles dared me. Have you guys ever heard of Downeyville? It's like in the Sierra Nevada, Downeyville. It's a tiny town off like the Yuba River, a fork of the Yuba River. Downeyville. It's near maybe Yuba City. Anyway, tiny little town. So my family has this like 200-year-old house that they've had there, just passed along throughout the years. And I didn't come from money, by the way. I'm dirt poor. I grew up in a trailer park. So but we got to every year we got to go to Northern California, where my mom's side of the family, who were all well-to-do, were living. And I grew up in Arizona, small town Arizona, but got to go hang out with them. We'd go into the Sierra Nevadas and hang out at this house in the middle of nowhere, middle of 49er country, and beautiful country. And right behind this huge 2-story house, really old house, like carpet in the bathroom style that's never been replaced, old house. Oh my gosh, I just cringe thinking about that. But anyway, was a cemetery. And in this cemetery, so my uncles one night said, "Hey, Aaron, we dare you to sleep in the cemetery, to sleep in a cemetery. So actually sleep on a burial plot in this old cemetery." I'm talking headstones from, 1800s, early 1900s. And so my younger brother and I, along with these are our saviors. We had two English labs. We used them as pillows, but we slept in the cemetery. And then my uncles tried to scare us all night. They were making weird noises, and I'll tell you, every single piece, every blade of grass, every pine needle that was underneath my back felt like a finger to an 8-year-old pressing up, coming out. I don't know how I slept, but that was a heck of a night.
That would have been freaking me out.
Yeah, you're pretty brave.
Yeah.
It was a little scary. I think we saw some bear droppings, fresh bear droppings the next morning too.
You mentioned working on some AI stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you see that taking us in our business in the future?
Well, I think AI is an interesting development in our, in the evolution of humanity. I think we're just at we're at the precipice. We're at the beginning of where AI is going to take us. Recently my team and we just developed a tool called My Home Prompts, and My Home is the company I work with, where we get to coach and consult with agents all over the country. And we also develop different technology tools and platforms and systems. And so, AI right now, where it's at, is it's doing some incredible things with virtual assistants, voice assistants, right? You've seen, AI is now handling phone conversations, text conversations. We're now seeing virtual avatars. Where I think AI has the most opportunity in real estate is through its predictive analytical nature. In other words, it's utilizing various data to predict behavior, specifically predict who's likely to buy or sell. That's where I'm a huge advocate of, and a big fan of tools like Offers and Revaluate and Likely.ai, which are able to utilize all the data that's available, that's floating out there, and with a high level of certainty predict the likely movers, likely sellers, likely buyers, within a specific geographic area, or even within your CRM or your database. It's able to score those people based on all of those factors and the information it knows about those folks, and really deliver a list of folks that are likely to make a move over the next 12 months to you, so that instead of you spending way more than you need to on marketing or advertising, right? Or, with print marketing or whatever that looks like for you, we can target a little more intentionally, just a smaller group. And so I'm a big fan of those type of tools. I think they're going to just continue to evolve and get better and better and better. I think obviously, some of these, Chat GPT, the tool we just developed is built on top of Chat GPT, called My Home Prompts, myhomeprompts.com. If and happy to get you guys access to that at no cost, myhomeprompts.com. But what we've done is we've actually taken Chat GPT, and then we figured out our 100 favorite prompts. We call them prompt recipes. And we've made them available at just the click of a button for you, just for real estate, just for realtors. Okay. And so, because sometimes using Chat GPT can be pretty cumbersome. It can be pretty challenging and overwhelming. And you don't need to be a prompt engineer to use My
It
Home
really
Prompts.
is about the prompts, right?
It's about the
You ask
prompt.
it one thing, it's super vague, and you think, oh, I'm going to ask this. And then, you talk to somebody else. And I think there are people that are really good at getting into the prompt, diving deeper, right? And just getting to, and I'm more of a surface level, honestly, like it takes me a minute to like think bigger, I guess, is really
That's the name of the game for interacting with really any version of AI, especially these large language models like ChatGPT, is going deep. ChatGPT is not your friend. You don't need to be nice to it. And I think, where you start to get value out of it is where you start to really push the envelope. Ask it what you should be asking. Ask it what tell it what you're trying to accomplish. Say, you know what? I want to generate more seller leads. You could start there. And then have it work and sweat, right? And push the envelope with it to get what you need from it, right? And get full clarity with it. Continue to ask, continue to push. You're not going to break it, right? And if you do, cool, right? But yeah, I mean, here's the thing, but that's the tip of the iceberg. I mean, these types of tools, they can be really useful. They're not a replacement, but I think they're an accompaniment. I think there's something that can help us overcome writer's block, help us get our first draft put together, especially as it relates to us coming up with a unique value proposition. How are we going to helping us with scripting, with our conversations with buyers, conversations with sellers, those compensation conversations? I would absolutely leverage Chat GPT and its insights for those, because if you think about it, you guys, the collective knowledge of humanity, of culture, has been loaded into a piece of software, and it's available at your fingertips. And that's really what Chat GPT and other products like that are.
Are there any other AI products that you like out there? Like, I know there's a Gemini, which used to be Bard, right? And I've recently come across Claude, I think is what it is.
Yeah, so those are some good tools as well. I like those. Right now I'm really liking beautiful.ai from a presentation standpoint. You can go into Chat GPT, tell it the type of presentation you want to put together: a buyer presentation, listing presentation, builder presentation. Have it really just outline out a presentation. You can copy and paste that over to beautiful.ai. And that will actually put together a beautiful slide deck with graphics, bullets, beautifully formatted, charts, graphs. And you really, all you did was you went to ChatGPT and prompted it to create an outline for a specific topic.
And that's called Beautiful. What's that called, Aaron?
Beautiful.ai.
Okay.
Beautiful.ai. Yeah, I mean, I've got a video on my YouTube channel where I go through some of my favorite AI tools. I'm also happy to share. I've got about 15 that I really, really like. Some that are related to virtual staging. There's some awesome virtual staging AI tools that are out there. Let's see, virtualstaging.cloud is a good one, right? Give it a photo of a cluttered room or a vacant room, and it will allow you to virtually stage based on a few parameters that you provide. You can tell it the style, you can tell it what type of furniture you want in the home, and even outside of the home. You can have it, you know, completely reimagine the front yard, the backyard, right? Adding a fire pit, a pool, right? Because we know that buyers sometimes lack the imagination of what's possible, and so and the
especially on
vision
the
of what's
vacant
possible.
house. Yeah.
Exactly. And so or maybe a home that hasn't been developed yet, hasn't been built.
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff there. Getfloorplan.com is another really neat one. If you have a floor plan for a property, even if it's written on a napkin, provide it to getfloorplan.com, and it will turn that into a 3D rendering, walkable rendering, in a similar to Matterport 3D.
Aaron, what was the name of that staging AI? Bella asked that again.
Virtualstaging.cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, virtual stage. So I'll pop those right into our Zoom chat here, just so you have them to check out.
So where do you see technology taking us, like in the next 5 years?
I think, we've come a long way in the last 10 years. There's been billions of dollars of Silicon Valley money infused into this industry. I think it will only continue to progress. I think the focus now really is on doing things smarter, utilizing AI. I think CRMs, you're going to start to see your CRMs get a lot smarter, where they're going to, all your CRMs will have this predictive technology built in that will tell you, hey, by the way, you need to reach out to these people because we're predicting that they have a buying or selling need soon. We're also going to see things that I'm not a huge fan of. I think they can be misused. I think they can be used well, but probably misused. I think the virtual avatars, I think, AI's ability to create imagery, to create video mimicking you, I think can be useful. But again, I don't think we want to replace ourselves, right? I think that's really where the challenge is here, is how can we continue to just ensure that we use technology to do things that we shouldn't be doing, that aren't our highest and best use, which allow us to spend more time with people in meaningful situations and scenarios. I think it's AI. You're going to see more AI in this business, more AI in this industry. It's going to cause a lot of us to it's going to raise the tide of a lot of us together that are using the AI. I think for those that aren't using it for scripting, for coming up with creative content, for help with their imagery, for overcoming that writer's block, I think there's going to be a divide. I think there's going to be a separation between those that are and those that aren't. We're already seeing it now. I mean, I'm seeing online, where 90% of home buyers and sellers, they don't just start their real estate home search, they start their real estate agent search online, and you're going to see a lot more buyers doing the exact same thing now that now that buyers are having to get into an agreement with a real estate agent, with us. They're going to start being a little more selective with who they work with. They go, wait a minute, I'm going to have to get into agreement with any real estate agent that that I want to show me property. Okay, then you know what? Let me get back to you. Let me see if I can get a referral. Let me go online and see if I can vet out the best real estate agent. So I think your online presence is going to become more and more critical to help people navigate through who's good and who's not. And I think for you, having a powerful, personalized website that's unique to you, that shows the people you've had success with, that really shows the unique process that you take buyers and sellers through, that shows that you do something that's different. I think that's going to be critical, more critical than ever before. Your Google business profile arguably is your most important online profile. You should be ensuring that that profile has at least 20, if not 50 reviews on that, because people are now more confused than ever before. The thing is, with technology, with all this technology, it's creating more noise, right? It's creating more uncertainty. We're more confused than ever before. So I think for you, you need to create clarity in the clutter with your social media content, with your online presence, with your service offering, with who you are, right? With your ability to educate people on what's happening in the market, right? Clarity is the key word. And that's how we push through all this technology. And so, again, I think the Google business profile, your website, making sure that you're consistent online with a recent non-AI headshot. I just had a meeting yesterday with a real estate agent, and she's on par to close. She'll probably earn around 800,000 in GCI this year. And all of her headshots and all of her profiles are AI, not her. And I just said, I'm not going to say her name. I don't want to call her out, but I did call her out in the conversation. I just said, hey, here's the challenge with not being straightforward with who we are. It's that if we're hiding our appearance, what else are we hiding? It's a red flag to other people. And that's the thing. We just have to accept how we look. We have to accept how we sound, and we just have to get out there and get after it. And so, yeah, I mean, I think online presence more important than ever before. And then creating that unique warm baked chocolate chip cookie. What is that? What is that small thing? You know, one of my favorite authors, Seth Godin, he's written over 20 books in the areas of psychology and marketing. If you're not familiar with Seth Godin, Purple Cow, Tribes, Linchpin, phenomenal books. And for me, they're short reads, they're easy, digestible, but he talks about your smallest viable audience. You guys, and there's this fixation right now on, with social media. I want to go viral. Like I want followers, I want likes, you know what? That's not what it's about. What it's about is identifying your smallest viable audience. In other words, like, who is that small group of people that can drive your business? And I'm talking, it could be 10, 15, 20 people, 30 people that can really drive your business forward, and doing something special and unique for them. Because if you do that, they're going to tell others. And when 20 people tell others, 20 times 20 turns into 400. That's where you go viral. You go viral for doing things different, doing things unique, providing a higher level of value to a small group of people. So when you get onto social media next and you think about your next post, your next reel, your next story post, don't think about going viral. Think about, what can you do to bring something unique to the 20 people out of my 400 or 1,000 or 2,000 followers that actually matter. And that's where you're going to win on social media. And that's where you're going to win with your business in general.
Yeah. Great point. Love it. It's about building a deep connection and relationship with friendship with your clients, so that you're top of mind with them. And doing that with, I think, agents around the country. And I mean, that's the one thing that I know that I love about Six Ambers and connections. I've been able to connect so much with agents around the country where they're my friends. I love them. So thank you. Well, we're getting out there on time, Tanya. Do we want to go into your rapid fire questions?
So we do have some questions that are just supposed to be kind of fun and light. Quick, no deep thoughts here. We appreciate everything you've brought. Before we get into that though, if people wanted to reach out to you after this, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, they can go to aaronlacey.com. aaronlacey.com is going to be the best place to do that. And, let me just throw out my company name is My Home. My Home is the parent company is Wilson Financial Group, sister company, WFG National Title. And I'm a resource
Yay,
for you guys.
WFG. We love WFG.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put out those, and we've got your YouTube channel and your Instagram handle. We'll share that out with the group as well
Awesome.
after the call. So, okay, so real quick here. So, you've shared some books that you like, but what's the one book that you go back to time and time again?
Gosh, you guys, the one book that I go back to, I'm looking at my books behind me. You know what I love? I love the book Exactly What to Say.
Oh,
Yes,
That's a phenomenal book. Exactly What to Say.
Bill Jones.
right there.
Got it right there. Yeah, that book is just phenomenal.
That's a good one. Okay, favorite movie?
You guys are gonna call me out for this, but Gladiator, Braveheart. That's me. So when I went to Rome last month, I was going through that Colosseum. I was touching, I was smelling. I might have even licked something. I mean,
Hope that wasn't during COVID. Gee,
it was last month. I probably got something, but I'm okay with it.
it's all good. All
Yeah,
good.
I've seen that movie 50 times.
I love it. Okay, what's something like a hidden talent? What's something that people don't really know about you?
You know what? I can keep any plant alive. It's
Oh,
my wife is absolutely just mind boggled. But I have some crazy green thumb. I don't know what it is, but I love plants. I love trees. I live in the middle of the desert, Sonoran Desert, Phoenix, and I've got 40 trees in the middle of the desert, middle of Phoenix, you guys. And I've got probably 60 plants in pots. And
Not just
they're
cactus. Not just cactus.
not just
It's hard to
cactus.
kill a cactus.
Yeah.
Aaron. It's hard to kill a cactus. Okay.
that's amazing. I do not have a green thumb, so it's amazing. Favorite kind of ice cream?
Rocky Road. I love Rocky Road. And I'm not a huge chocolate fan, but Rocky Road, I don't know. It's just the weird combination.
It's a good one.
It's like an oldie but goodie. You don't
I
even hear that
know.
very much now. Now there's so many exotic flavors that people get into.
Totally.
Rocky Road. All right, and this one's one of my favorites. First childhood crush.
Oh my gosh. First childhood crush. Gosh, if I'm really being honest, it was my neighbor, my friend. I had a friend across the street when I think I was 8, and his older sister. Oh my gosh, I felt like she could. I don't know how old she was. She was probably like 12, but I felt like she was a full grown adult, and I was just obsessed with her. I was just like, man, one day, if I could ever know somebody like you. Her name was April Milroy, actually, in fact, was her name. I remember to this day. They were there for about a year. Yeah, that was my first crush. I don't think she knew that though.
How about celebrity childhood crush?
Celebrity childhood crush. Oh gosh. God, who was the redhead in oh god, what was the movie's escaping me where the kids were in detention?
Molly Ringwald.
Breakfast Club?
Yeah, it's
Molly
Molly
Ringwald.
Molly.
Oh, it's a
That's
good
my childhood. That was my childhood crush.
They just
Breakfast
had a
Club.
new is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
I don't know, but they did kind of a whole thing about the Brat Pack. It was really, really good. It just came out a few weeks ago. It's really
I love
good.
that movie.
It's a good one.
Good one.
Well, Aaron, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys. Tanya, John, everybody that hung around, listened to what I had to say. I really appreciate you. And it's just, I feel so grateful to be here with you right now, but also to be here in this life with you, you guys. We're here at the same darn time. It's incredible. So thank you so much. I appreciate everybody.
Aaron, you've brought so much in my career this last year. So much. I so value you and your advice and coaching. Really do.
Thank you very
so
much.
much and for your time for coming on with us.
Pleasure.
Thank you. We got in there a form if you want to RSVP so that we keep you on our updates. Thank you again, everyone, for showing up. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the meditation. And here's Aaron's favorite song that gets him going.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Aaron.
you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, John. Thanks, Tanya.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Fabulous.
Great to see everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you, Aaron. Great info.
Have a great rest of the month. The month is starting.
Hi, Mitra. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitra.
Thank you.
See you in September.
Yes. Bye.
Jody.
Have a great
week.
Thank you, everybody.
Is Jody here? Oh my head,
Here in
Jody.
the house.
I'll see you in a few hours, Jody.
Yeah, bring that wine. We need that.
Yes, you better grab that.
Oh, where you going? I'll be there.
Damn it.
I hope you all have a great
Great
day.
day. Bye.
Have a good
Thanks.
day. See you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.